Namaskar. Let's talk about some of the things that we've discussed in the past and then summarize. We know that everything that we teach in a regular Hatha Yoga class, or if you're a yoga therapist, or you're teaching some form of gentle or therapeutic yoga, you know that you can incorporate every part of that into your class. Posturing, meditation, pranayama, even knowledge of dieting, all of these things can come into play. Easy enough. You start to put out some information about the benefits that your students can expect from classes, and then later on start to outline your classes and have some handouts for your students. Don't have to make it too complicated. I find that a one-page flyer is much better than clipping 5 pages together. I'll always have the one student who wants 5 or 10 or 15 pages of information, yet most of them are probably burdened by me giving them 1 page. It's not a big deal, but it seems to be that a lot of people find reading nowadays to be a chore. Therefore, handouts can go a long way if you make them short, and if you air out the space, and even if you have diagrams or pictures, it always makes it much easier. Some things to realize too about pranayama, which we've spoken of before. All of the techniques that you know of can work, but depending on the age group, they just can't be very forceful and not so dynamic. There are a number of other things too. What in the end happens though is that the students themselves realize that yoga has a calming effect on the mind and their body. And the longer anyone practices yoga, the longer they will be around to reap the benefits. There's an interesting part here, and that is I've found that the senior citizens who come to yoga classes are more likely to stay longer than younger students because they feel the benefits. This is something we had talked about before, but they actually feel them. They're in tune with their body. They don't travel so much on autopilot, and they're actually very much self-aware. So that's something to consider if you ever decide to start teaching chair yoga classes, whether it be in your own facility or whether it be out at another facility like a senior center or maybe assisted living. There are any number of opportunities. But with all these things said, the calm body leads to the calm mind, and the calm mind leads to the calm body. So they both go with each other. If we start to think in terms of yoga as an exercise, I believe that most of you who are teachers already know that yoga is not just an exercise. It's a whole lot more than just exercising. If it was just exercising, it would have been a fad. It would have disappeared years ago, and that would have been it. So it's a whole lot more, and the point here is that if you run chair yoga classes long enough for your students to reap the benefits, they stay. And they stay for a long time. I wish you all farewell. Have a wonderful week. Om Shanti.